What makes a good supplement? Synergy. What makes a good protocol? Synergy. Think about that word and how you can approach the same thing from so many different angles. As a practitioner trying to help somebody who's chronically ill become better, I need to get all systems working together. I need to get all cells healing, all organs, all tissues, all glands, like the whole body is one miraculous machine. Supplements. The industry has changed. I'm here with Mike Rhees. He's a teammate of mine, colleague as well. He and I run a lot of practitioner programs together, especially that 90-day functional blood work specialist program, as well as our restoration collaboration. So we're going to talk today about what has changed in the supplement industry and what it is now. And of course, why are we recommending what we're recommending? Because it has changed. And if you've followed him and I at all in the past few years, we've done a lot of systemic formulas and we're going to transition away from them and talk to you a little bit today about why and then what we're going to do in the future and what we're using and the whole transition of the entire supplement industry from 20 years ago to now, because it's a big difference. And Mike is an expert in it all. So welcome on, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Kylie. Good to be here.
Walk us through 20 years. When you entered the supplement industry, what was it like?
You know, that is such a good question, and it's a great topic because supplements have always been exciting because they are an alternative way for healing, a real way of healing. And I think 20 years ago, we weren't as far along as we are today as far as looking at supplements with as much research and development as they have. So supplements now, whether it's herbs, vitamins, minerals, omega fatty acids, the microbiome, cellular healing, they've had a lot more credible data to support the fact that they work, that they get somewhere, that they help with specific like chronic issues and autoimmune conditions. Not just vitamin D or D3. It's not just omega 3s. There were some common ones 20 years ago, like CoQ10 and some that they had done extensive research on for the heart and for the kind of the common things like hypertension and things like that, you know, the benefits of fish oil. But we've come a lot further. And so supplements are just exciting because um, the chronic illnesses and the autoimmune conditions are more serious today than they were 20 years ago.
What about the business side of the supplement industry? How's that changed?
Yeah. In our world of practitioner lines, there's a lot of supplement companies out there. There are a lot of direct marketing or multi-level marketing companies, but then there's a lot of other companies out there, companies that sell directly to Costco and Walmart and all of that. But then there's this niche of practitioner lines that we are a part of. And the business has evolved in such a way that practitioners are seeing the importance of bundles and like protocols more and more now, and they want to simplify that. Companies have to respond to that. Companies need to help practitioners put together programs or help them with um, putting together protocols more easily, more readily for their patients. And in order to be profitable, it's no longer about an exciting product or this exciting product or that exciting product that does this or that. It's this is an exciting bundle.
It's combination of products.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's a combination. It's a synergy of products. How well do these 5 products work together? And that's the business. That's a way that practitioners can grow a business around it, as you've seen firsthand, as you've been able to build programs in the past, and now you're working on other programs for patients, for the end user. And it's a bundle because on the health side, they need more than one product. they need more than just B vitamins. They need more than just DV or vitamin D3. You know, there are, and in order to actually help your help a program to thrive, whether it's 30 days or 90 days or 6 months, you have to have more than just one, two, or three products to help your business thrive.
Functional medicine, it can be so complex and yet so simple at the same time if we let it be simple, right? And you and I worked with practitioners now for a year together. I've been doing it for a couple of years. I mean, you've been doing it for a long time too, because you used to get on the phone with them and walk them through protocols and supplements that they could use with scenarios. But as a team, as a collaboration team, the last year, and what we found is it's really hard to break some people's regimen. In this industry, in functional medicine, we are trained to believe that it has to be hard. We are trained to believe that it has to be always one on one and personalize everything. And we can't, how dare we charge anything because we don't have that MD next to our name, whatever reason it is. But times have changed, and especially since 2020. There's a whole new world out there that people are willing to try new things, not only from the end user, but from practitioner standpoint. They're now seeing like, wait a second, the way I've done things for the last 20 years doesn't mean that's the same way I have to keep doing them. And if you're open to learning new ways to do functional medicine, learning new ways to do patient care and build a business, I mean, the sky is the limit, right? You've seen this in the last year firsthand.
It absolutely is. One thing that I have enjoyed seeing firsthand is practitioners realize they have that potential. Like literally for like the first time, breaking through these plateaus that they've had for years, seeing that the sky is the limit, right? That is a really valid point. And for them to understand that they don't have to be perfectionists or herbalists or expert nutritionists in order to make this work, that there is a way to be able to leverage their time and be able to do what they love as a practitioner and still like scale a program that is going to work for a mass audience, is going to work for multiple people many times over.
Without naming names, tell me a few of your favorite shifts that you've seen practitioners make in the last few months to a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Gentlemen in our 90-day cohort has treated blood work interpretation very seriously, but he's also found that there's a way to make it very simple and start programs differently than he used to, and be able to he's already generated quite a bit of profit. I mean, we're talking upwards of $40,000 within 2 to 3 months that he got involved just by tweaking the way he was doing things, running his business, um, in addition to looking at blood work. Now he really enjoys the blood work side. He likes to do a deep dive into it. It's really interesting to him. He loves to geek out on that, but at the same time, he doesn't let that bog him down with time. And I think there's a way to draw that line and really um, charge for what this program is worth. And he's learned. I think a big thing is a psychological shift, that mindset shift,
Yes.
and seeing that his patients, his clients, are very eager to spend that particular price tag, that he didn't realize before. So what I learned from that is that we all can do this. Practitioners can do this, is limit themselves. Think, just making that pre-assumption that clients can't afford. Whereas really there are many that can. They're there. And so.
You just have to offer it. Once you offer something, you realize, okay, they're in or they're out. I don't care. Like, let them choose, but I'm going to offer it, and I'm going to make it the price tag that's worth me doing it. I'm going to go into more of this on a separate episode, but so we won't dive into it. But as far as the supplement industry and your experience, like, walk us through your journey over the last decade.
Well, I've seen both, like the end users, the lay person using supplements and what they're looking for. And I've also seen what practitioners are looking for. And all of it has changed in the last 10 years, big time. Um, there's a lot more understanding on certain things. The microbiome is a big deal. Cellular health is a big deal. How people understand why the thyroid isn't doing this or is doing that. That there's better understanding in that it's no longer about treating the thyroid. It's no longer about just treating chronic fatigue syndrome or fixing hair health with uh, biotin or vitamin A. It's deeper than that. And I think people realize that now, where 10 years ago it wasn't the case. When I managed a nutrition store, this was over 10 years ago, people would come in and they would look for that best hair product and cross their fingers and hope that 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, that would get their hair health better, right? Or they would go in for weight loss supplements. They'd go in for the fat burner. And although the fat burner, what was labeled as like the fat burner product, it had real ingredients in it. It was a good quality supplement, but they were hoping that that one product uh, that would like help, had maybe some caffeine in it and had some other thermogenic properties. And so they had hoped that that was going to help them lose weight. There's a deeper understanding now. And people do want to get to the core of what's going on. And so that's a big focus of ours in our program and programs is getting down to the I know that the root cause has been like a common term, but really that's you're getting down to the underlying like issues and helping people develop a roadmap so that they really can get better because there's no shortcut. Shortcuts and supplements just slow you down. It's kind of ironic. So now the bundles that I recommend, that we recommend, is to help people get to the underlying issue and really get better. Their cells are more sensitive, so that helps with insulin problems they have, blood sugar problems they have, their metabolism's better. Now they can start burning fat better. Like mitochondria is working better. We never talked about mitochondria 10 years ago. Like understanding some of these things, although it sounds like super science-y, they're becoming more common. Helping with the gut microbiome helps. It goes a long way. Helping people that have had these continual gastrointestinal issues, it's not just one product that's going to fix it. There is a process, and people are finding that there is light at the end of the tunnel and that it's real. You can actually get rid of this bacterial intestinal overgrowth. You can help eliminate irritable bowel syndrome that you've had for 7 years or since you were a kid, the gas, the bloat, or esophageal problems, or skin issues people have. They've had eczema or like psoriasis or dermatitis stuff going on for so long. And now they're finding a remedy, not just, a topical thing to put on their face and their skin over the affected areas, but it's a process. It's like a bundle, it's a synergy. And supplements that are high quality really do help with that synergy so that then those skin problems that are deeper than the skin can go away.
It's been a big transition, not only from the functional medicine perspective and treating the symptom, but as I'm big at this, like I don't care about symptoms, I don't care about diagnoses. Let's find the blood work and let's figure out why is the body presenting symptoms in this way. And one of my biggest pet peeves is, what causes this? I don't know. If there was a one size fits all answer, then whoever created that would be a billionaire. And it's not like every person is the same. So if you were to say, well, what causes migraines? It's different for everybody. But give me the blood work and let me figure that out. What causes POTS? Or do you treat POTS? Yes, but I don't in a way. Yes and no. Yes, I help people overcome POTS. Do I treat POTS? No. I treat an unhealthy individual. And it's that whole entire shift of this is the way we've been trained to think. This is the way that we actually need to think. And not only with patient care, it's the same with business. We've been trained to believe that we have to do initial consultations, report of findings, personalization, personalization, personalization. That's a lot of work for a prayer that they join the program.
It's a lot of time.
A lot of time, a lot of expertise going into that. And let's face it, we're not salesmen. We're helpers in this industry. So I just said, you know what? Let's be done with all that. Because I found in my own looking around and looking at colleagues and practitioners who you've worked a lot with that they're burnt out. They hate what's in their bank account. They have no retirement and they just have this practice that they just try to survive in. And I was like, I don't want that. So in order for me to have something different, I had to completely change the way I think, completely change the way I act, completely change the way I make business decisions. And now it's like, let's pave the way for this new paradigm of freedom. Now, there's a lot of practitioners or coaches out there who will preach high ticket, high ticket, high ticket. That's fine if you want to do it. If you want to preach it, sure, go ahead. But as a mom, I don't want to have to worry about having somebody come in for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 every single time I need to make a sale and have to handhold and provide everything that they need. I don't want that. So how can we create another way? And supplements have been a big way to do this. I remember a conversation we had on our group call a few weeks ago that the practitioner purely focuses on nutrition. And I'm like, that's great, but you're leaving an entire other population out there who doesn't want to have to completely redo their entire lifestyle when they'd be willing to take some supplements and still get feeling better. Does that mean they're going to feel 100% better in 90 days? No, but it means they're going to feel better. So it's bridging that gap of taking what you already know, what you already do, what you already love, combining it with a more powerful tool, supplements, blood work, and then creating a business model that provides the lifestyle you actually want. So as you've experienced not only working with practitioners on a variety of different platforms, but just give us a few more stories about what you've seen practitioners do, not only with their business, but with their lifestyle as well. And then how the supplements have played a role in that.
So one person in particular, a dietitian that is focused on, I mean, their passion is diet. Their passion now is supplements. And their passion also was getting a grasp on blood work. There's a lot there between like the lipid panels and looking at hormones, looking at the thyroid, looking at the WBC, the neutrophil count, and the eosinophils, and just everything across the board. And so, one person who wants to become this go-to sought-after expert may look at that as being just this daunting task to become an expert at all those many things. And I think that what this dietitian learned from you in the course and from us collectively is how to make that process simple so it wasn't so daunting, and also how to still use that as a tool with patients, with clients, without causing them overwhelm, but just using it as a credible tool and then using a or being able to scale a program, a bundle of products that helps them across the board. I think that's the line that we're talking about, where there's a need for simplicity, but at the same time, there's a need for the right therapy so it can make a difference. And there needs to be both. And simplicity meaning it needs to be easy for the patient or the client to understand, to be able to move forward with, to comply with. And this individual that I'm referring to has found that, has found out how to kind of leverage time, become more learned in blood work, but still keep the process simple, scale the business, um, and grow. And so that's that balance that may seem tricky, of simplicity versus uh, having all these therapies for your patient to get better. But one of the things that is paramount is for us to make the process easy for people to follow, easy for people to move forward with, so they can grow a business. Otherwise, it would just be too time consuming, too difficult, too complicating.
Simplicity is key in everything, and it's pushing the easy button. Well, us as humans, we want the easy button. So if you were to push the easy button for supplements, to you, what makes a good supplement?
Oh, synergy. You definitely want the person who formulated it. There was a person or a group of people that came up with the idea. What do we want to use this supplement for? They're thinking about the cause of it. It's like, hey, customers of our company have had this need. This is why they have this need. So they're putting themselves in the shoes of practitioners, say. So they have this idea. They want to make this really good product to make a difference. They put together the right combinations. So there's enough data, there are enough studies on different ingredients that work at certain levels. So people, whether it's a biochemist or anyone that's able to put together a formula based on like these clinical studies, they're able to put together clinical doses or therapeutic doses which reflect how much CoQ10 or how much omega 3s or D3 or quercetin, or the list goes on and on when it comes to nutrients, how much really works with people that have such and such a chronic issue. And you put that together. So there's synergy, there's more going on than just one thing. And together, those ingredients are a formula, they are a synergy. You're tackling more than just one thing. So you're able to consolidate multiple therapies in just one product. Um, and it's not based on hype, it's not based on fluff. It's not just acai berry juice. We've seen that happen in the past, where people get really excited about arginine, they get excited about acai berry, they get excited about krill oil, and then they run with that. What you want to look for are multiple therapies in just one product. That's called synergy. That's therapy for your patients, or that's therapy for you. And then yeah, you want third party research. You want to make sure that the ingredients are clean and free from contaminants. So it's a product you can trust.
What about that certificate that you were telling me about? Explain that to everybody.
Yeah, there's a when a product has reached its completion, there's it can be an ingredient, or it can be the product upon completion. When it's in its capsule, it's in its bottle, it's ready to be shipped. There's been enough testing, and there's a document that shows, it's called a certificate of analysis. Some people call it a technical data sheet. You can call it a C of A. And what it displays is that the product is free from contaminants, E. coli, heavy metals, pathogens, bacterial, fungal, viral, so it's not infected with something that you don't want to put into your body. And you have that rest assurance. It's not the company that made the product, it's another independent laboratory so that it's unbiased. So you have this other unbiased place that investigated with the right equipment, like very, very expensive equipment that does this, that studies these ingredients and finds that, they're less than so many parts per million of E. coli, or so many parts per million of this contaminant or that. So it doesn't have mold in it, or cadmium or arsenic or different heavy metals. And so this third party lab will prove that the product's clean. And as a result of that, they establish this certificate of analysis. You can look at the certificate of analysis, or C of A, of a given product and see that it's trusted and that your patient can have that confidence to put it in their body and everything's going to be okay.
You said it very simply. When I asked a question that could have been so complex, you're like, oh, synergy. Yeah, simple, synergy. The way I create protocols, and even the way that they're going to create supplements too, is like I'll go to a seminar and they'll talk about the mechanism behind something, and there's multiple different components to the mechanism. And I'm thinking, okay, well, there's this component and this component and this component. What supplements treat these three components? And that's how I fix the entire mechanism. That's how I've created a lot of my protocols in the past,
You have.
combining things like that. And
Yeah.
and the supplements are the same. Like, okay, well, if we need this result, what herb, what ingredient? I'm just gonna say that because the funny thing is, people think I know so much about supplements. I know so much about the supplements I use. I don't know jack crap about anything else. But I say that in a way to point out, like, I don't want to be the jack of all trades. I don't need to know all the supplements for standard process. Does Mike? Oh yeah, Mike knows everything, so that's why he's on my team. But keeping that multifaceted approach with just one pill, like, I would much rather take 4 capsules total that get the job done than have to take 20 of something else.
Yeah.
And that's the way I create my programs too. I've had people come to me from the patient side of things and say, I've been taking 100 pills a day, and you're not feeling any, like, you're literally just surviving with this. You know how much money that is? Not to mention, like, that's a lot of pills. You're just your digestive system's constantly having to digest. So let's simplify. And let's take a few supplements that do have multifaceted effects, put them all together, take this part of the mechanism and this part of the mechanism and this part of the mechanism and combine them together, and voila, we have a protocol.
And Kylie, you're a good example of not having to know all the nitty gritty details of ingredients, as you've mentioned
I don't
in this
jack crap about
podcast.
that
You
stuff.
just mentioned, and I've heard you mention it again and again and again. However, you got a handle on what programs worked, and not having to be an expert in all the herbology or whatever you call it, all those compounds, but still being able to grow and scale a business, even though you're not an herbalist, and that's one of the underlying themes here. And that's what my privilege is. That's really like what my joy is to be able to help practitioners so they can save time. I'll do the nitty gritty work in terms of supplements and putting together programs that work, because you know what, right now, that's what I'm doing. I am not running a practice with clients like practitioners are currently. And so I have the time to make sure I can present to you the highest quality or most highly advanced products for that I've seen work the best among so many practitioners. Uh, and then you can do, as a practitioner, what your genius is and focus on that.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Stay in your zone of genius, hire some help, bring in people like Mike who's been in the industry for 20 years and knows everything there is to know about supplements. So when he gave me a phone call, I was like, wait a second, what? Yes, because that means I don't have to learn any of that stuff. And I can bring you in not only for our patients, but for the practitioners as well. So, okay, we've talked about what makes a good supplement. Now, there's been a big change in the supplement industry. What's been happening?
So we have recommended a brand that we are most familiar with because we've been loyal to it. We've worked there, we've worked with it, we've seen all kinds of benefits firsthand. We've seen benefits based on what so many practitioners have shared with us. There are new advances, and there's new companies that have emerged that we also trust. And so, with that being said, our protocols have changed. We have two new companies that are really in this process of launching, and again, it's not based on hype, fluff. It's based on research. It's based on credibility and ingredient formulations that we've found will be best for your protocols for gut health, cellular health, autoimmune protocols, PCOS, metabolism, thyroid, adrenal, whole body healing across the board. That's why we're most excited about, um, these changes. We definitely want to push the envelope based on the most latest research, leading edge research.
Well, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty here because we could go down lots of rabbit holes with this stuff. Um, but I'm just going to say that we're going to be bringing on the experts behind these two supplement companies and more. So we're not biased, but we are using what we're using for a reason, many reasons. But they'll be coming on as a future episode. So to wrap it up here, what makes a good supplement? Synergy. What makes a good protocol? Synergy. Think about that word and how you can approach the same thing from so many different angles. As a practitioner trying to help somebody who's chronically ill become better, I need to get all systems working together. I need to get all cells healing, all organs, all tissues, all glands. Like the whole body is one miraculous machine that works together. It's not just cardiology. It's not just endocrinology. It's not just respiratory therapy. It's not just I'm sorry, what is the gut word? Gastroenterology. Like these are systems that all work together. And when they work not only well by themselves, but work well together, that's when, you feel your greatest. So what makes a good supplement? Synergy. What makes a good program? Synergy. Protocol? Synergy. I like that word. We should call this episode What Makes a Good Supplement? And then you'll have to listen to it to actually get by now you've listened to it already. So, all right, guys, that's a wrap.